Everybody, today I'd like to talk to you about the activities and work I did this past week at a veterinary hospital called Mesa. And I want to speak to you guys about the type of work I did and how it benefits not only my community, but my knowledge of how to take care of pets, especially on a medical level. I also want to spread awareness and precaution towards animal abuse and neglect and how it is wrong for us to abandon our animals. So, over this past week, I decided to volunteer at my local 24-hour veterinary clinic, Mesa Veterinary Hospital. The clinic has been a staple in the Golden community since about 1974, with nothing but good things to say about the people who bring their animals in. They are a unique kind of vet in the sense that they do major surgeries, as well as usual checkups and boarding services. So if you are a client who is going out of town, Mesa offers boarding services where they walk, feed, and tend to your animal while you are away. I first heard of this clinic from a friend of mine who used to work there. He told me that they offer volunteer services for those looking to help out at the hospital. I took him up on it, contacted them, and I truly enjoyed the full 8-hour shift I spent there. So, my basic duties, the main job I did for my volunteer service was to walk all of the boarding dogs, which are the pets that families keep here for us to watch over while they're away. Now, because I was a volunteer, I was not allowed to walk or administer medication to the pets with medical issues or recent surgeries for obvious reasons. However, most of the boarding dogs were easy, varying from very energetic walkers to slow, lethargic dogs who really just wanted to sleep all day. They asked that they rotate walks at least every half hour. On top of walking the dogs, we had to rotate constant loads of laundry. Because it is a hospital performing major surgeries, we had to keep a consistent flow of laundry going, such as towels, blankets, and other used cloths. This is probably my least favorite part, as I'm not a fan of touching blood or anything like that. So they made sure that I wore two pairs of gloves as I did laundry. At about 5 o'clock, we served dinner to all of the boarding animals. Most of them had their own specific food that owners brought, or we used canned wet food, which is ID if any of you are familiar with pets having gastrointestinal issues. That's what most vets prescribe to your dog or cat. If the owner did not bring any food for them, we would substitute it with the ID. This part was fairly easy and also amusing because of all the cats and dogs I got to see, and they all got so excited when it was time to eat. They knew it was dinner and they were excited, jumping around. So, most of you are probably wondering about this point how a vet benefits the community, and like I stated before, that this clinic is very unique in the sense that they have benefits and goals to their community. So, although Mesa is just a vet hospital, they are very active in their community to educate people to prevent animal abandonments, mistreatment, and neglect. Thus, the clinic takes in a vast amount of strays, whether they were found on the streets or somebody brought them in. There's one dog in particular, her name was Ruby, and she was a boxer mix. She was merely brought in by her owner, and she left no contact sheet whatsoever, left her there in the boarding service, and never returned. It's exciting to hear those stories because they happen quite a bit, and the staff reassured me that this is a common thing to see. Owners in the past have left pets in boxes on the front door, while others have brought in dogs abandoned, injured, beaten. Essentially, Mesa strives to prevent these things from happening, and they're happy to help and take in any unwanted animals and assist them to any new owners or shelters that are willing to take them. So, on top of that, Mesa strives to provide the best care and services to their clients and every dog they find. They're consistent on keeping up with current animal studies and more beneficial vaccines that change every day. They keep an updated blog for owners looking to consult care tips for their pets and to inform owners of any news within the pet health community. They also have a free pet health library on their website where owners can search through many databases to aid in their caretaking of the pet. Mesa provides also some weekly events to interact with their community more. Some of these include a puppy playtime, which happens every Friday between 3 and 6, where owners can bring in their less than 1 year old pups to run around and play with everyone. Unfortunately, I did not get to do this since I volunteered on a Thursday, but I'd like to go back at some point in the future to be able to participate in this. I mean, who doesn't want to play with puppies? Um, so on top of that, volunteering at a veterinary hospital does not really correlate with my degree because I'm a music business major, and it's hard to connect that with what I did. So the best thing I can say is that I truly enjoy having both music and animals in my life. I think that's why I chose to do the veterinary clinic, because it was something more outside of my league and I was experimenting with something new. So, like music, animals have always been present since my childhood, and I yearn to have many animals once I have the housing unit for it. But on a professional level, the service has taught me about communicating on a direct and business speaking level. Especially working under a doctor, I felt obligated to address them formally and with utmost respect. Perhaps the same demeanor that could be done if I were speaking to a label executive or producer or somebody higher up in the music industry. I felt that my work method was very akin to how I write and work with music. I like to be a very organized person, so I do my tasks in the order of the easiest duties to the hardest ones. I think that reflected well on my workflow at Mesa. I would start with the easy dogs to walk and then the hard ones, since they took more time to use the bathroom and were slower and lethargic. After that, I would do a bunch of cleaning for the assistants wherever I could, whatever they asked me, whether it be mopping a cage out or kennel or cleaning walls, whatever they needed, or cleaning surgery tools. I did that. And after that, I would do the laundry. Like I said, my least favorite part, because I did not enjoy that. The less blood I had to touch, the better off I felt. So nonetheless, I felt like this workflow played out well, and some of the assistants were very satisfied with how much I got done in the 8 hours I was there. I can't ever see myself working at a vet, so at least I can say that this volunteer work has enabled me to cross that off my list. However, I enjoyed my time volunteering here, and I would even consider again in the future. I think what made the service so enjoyable was that you really felt the vibe the staff had to offer, and they made me feel important for volunteering. They really cared about the pets that were there, and they really emphasized how important it is for us to take care of the pets that we own. If there's anyone out there who's unable to take care of their pets, they should do the right thing and donate them to caring owners or shelters. Seeing some of the abuse in person really changed my perspective on how we treat animals. And even though pets are just a want as opposed to a necessity compared to, say, a homeless shelter, I feel that it is very important that we look towards vets and shelters and we pay attention to what's going on there, because pets play a big role in our lives. I'd say at some point or another, everybody's going to own a pet at some point in their life, so it's important that we educate ourselves on how we take care of them, how we don't neglect them, and how we treat them as how we treat others. So thank you for listening. I appreciate you tuning in on my volunteer service, and I hope the rest of your day goes well.